Hey, what's up guys, Adam here. If you didn't know, I'm a pretty big anime fan. The way that animation opens up infinite possibilities to tell a story is insanely cool in my opinion. The thing that separates most anime series from Western animated shows is that Japanese anime generally have a really deep and complex story with lots of lessons to be learned. I really love a lot of anime series, but today I'm going to be discussing what I believe to be my all-time favorite. It's a pretty unconventional pick, and even if you're an anime fan, you might not have heard of it. After a lot of thought, I think my favorite anime is a little series called Hikarunogo, which aired from 2001 to 2003 and was adapted from the manga written by Yumi Hotta. Hikarunogo revolves around a 6th grade boy named Hikaru, who discovers a spirit inside of his grandfather's old Go board. For those of you who don't know what Go is, it's basically a strategy board game, similar to chess, except that the only way you move is by playing stones on a 19x19 board. The goal of the game is basically to get the most territory possible. It seems very simple at first, but is actually millions of times more complicated than chess because of the larger board and amount of possible moves available to each side. Okay, back to the show. This spirit, named Fujiwara no Sai, or just Sai, was a master of Go 1,000 years ago, and his only desire is to play the game once again. Hikaru accepts Sai's wish and decides to learn how to play Go. Sai basically follows him around as a ghost, and no one can hear or see Sai except Hikaru. For me to like a show or a book, my number one biggest reason to start liking it is because I like the characters. Hikarunogo has really great and fleshed out characters. One of the main reasons why this is the case is because every character has specific goals and aspirations. Examples of this are Hikaru's desire to beat Akira, and Sai's desire to play the divine move. Even though in the beginning of the anime, Hikaru is kind of a brat in some instances because of his young age and immaturity, through the course of the show you really see him grow as both a person and a Go player. His progression throughout the show is super thorough, and I feel like it's really accurate for someone of Hikaru's age. Sai, on the other hand, is always wise, helpful, and basically acts as almost a father figure to Hikaru. Since we never see Hikaru's dad during the course of the story, I think the character archetype for Sai is even more appropriate. Akira is a great rival figure, and the writing simultaneously makes you root for Hikaru, as well as feel empathy for Akira. Akari is also a pretty great side character for a semi-romantic interest for Hikaru. She's super likable and is pretty much just the more mature version of Hikaru. As for other characters in the series, I don't want to spoil anything past the first episode, so in summary, I love a lot of the characters that come into play, especially toward the early middle part of the show when a lot more side characters come into the mix. Every side character adds a unique personality, and there aren't really any characters who don't bring anything to the table. For people that have watched the show, Isumi is my favorite character in the series. Because the characters are so well written and layered, the story in turn is really interesting, especially if you're like me and enjoy sports/game-based anime. As a very competitive person who likes strategy games, the story of Hikaru wanting to be the best Go player in the world naturally drew me in to become invested in the narrative. One of the reasons why this is my favorite anime is because of that plot. Since usually when I pick up a new game or hobby my goal is to become really good at it, I definitely knew where Hikaru's mindset was coming from. There's surprisingly a lot of tension in this anime for seemingly being pretty lighthearted in nature. At its core, it's a competitive sports anime, and there are a decent amount of tournament arcs and such, which are some of my favorite kinds of arcs in anime. Since there are a lot of intertwining characters, the rivalries throughout also evolve and expand based on what's happening in the story. Basically, if you like strategy games or are a competitive person, you will probably enjoy the story of Hikarunogo. The animation is pretty basic and not the greatest, but to be fair, it's from 2001 and revolves around a board game, so it's definitely fine for it not to have the greatest animation. That being said though, I still really like the look of the characters especially. The faces are really expressive, and as a viewer, you can pretty easily tell how a character is feeling just through their facial expressions, which I think is really important in an anime with a plot like Hikarunogo's. Everything else looks pretty fine, and the animation is never like noticeably terrible. It's just not the absolute smoothest. As for the music, it's a really, really great original soundtrack. The music in the show really exemplifies the tenseness of certain situations, and it also brings out some really nice background music as well. It's pretty iconic in my opinion, and I think it works perfectly for this show specifically just because of the subject matter. Hikarunogo is honestly an anime I could see anyone enjoying. It's got drama, comedy, tense as well as heartwarming moments, and compelling characters and story, as well as a near-perfect soundtrack. I would more recommend it to people that are competitive, as they will connect a lot more to the story and aspirations of Hikaru like I did. This show is also super rewatchable. I've watched it twice and still rewatch episodes on occasion just because I really love the story and character progression. The dub is also great if you're not a sub person like me. I'm giving Hikarunogo a clear 5 out of 5. It's no doubt an overlooked masterpiece in my opinion. Thanks for watching guys, see you in the next one.